Hey, it's Jeremy from RetroShop here, and on the bench right now we have a set of the projector headlights, and we're going to review the 2015 through 18 HID wiring for either the projector lights or the quad headlights. The process is the same as the harness is the same, and then we'll review how to hook up the ballast, either the Morimoto or the Hilux ballast, into this harness and into the lights. So first off, we're going to set this aside for now, and we're going to show the back of this light here. So we've already got a video showing how to install the bulbs. So in this on this light, we've got the bulb already installed, and you'll see here this is just basically an extension that goes from the old headlight connection, so you have a little bit of extra wiring there, and the bulb wires here. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Mopar spec wiring harness from Morimoto here. Now, it's quite a bit of stuff here, but we need to sit back and think about, these newer trucks. The 15 through 18, they got a lot of crap going on. So, all the CAN bus systems that are built into it, and, I love the Rams, but I don't know why they need to have so much goodies going on with it. In the end, this is what is needed to ensure proper function of the HIDs onto your truck. So we're not going to pull this thing all the way apart, but we're going to take a quick look at what we have going on here. So let me just take the rubber band off of here just to get some of this out of the way. Basically what we have here is a full wiring harness with a built-in capacitor, and we also have a couple of resistors as well here. So if we disconnect, or not disconnect, we just set some things off to the side here so we can get a better look at what we have going on. Sorry about that, a little bit mixed up here in the bag. Alright, so first off, you've got one set of resistors here with simple connection to it. This is going to be used on the passenger side. So we've got our passenger side here. So let's do the simple part first. Passenger side, you come from this connection here that's mounted inside, or that's plugged inside, and you just plug this in. Now, you want to make sure you've got black wires going to black, red going to the non-black wire here. These resistors do get hot, as mentioned on the back here, so you'll want to mount these somewhere to metal. You want that, there's no need to ground them, everything is grounded within. So you just want to mount these somewhere to metal. Some guys like to use like a band clamp, for them. Some like to just use the mounting holes and just mount them, whatever works. All right, next up, we're going to look at the entire remaining harness here. Now, in this case, we're going to assume that this is our driver's side light. So once everything is all disconnected, or not disconnected, but unraveled here, you're going to see that you've got a relay. You've got one relay for each side. From that, you have a couple connections here that are labeled ballast, and we'll get to that in a short bit. Then you have your battery negative and your battery positive. So, keeping things simple, we'll start with battery positive, battery negative. Red, black. Easy enough. You'll want to mount the resistors, the relays in this fashion here. That way water doesn't get into them. And you can put this, we don't really tell people where exactly to put everything. Again, I have found that anytime that we tell someone, hey, this is where we put this, I get more emails telling me that that's not where they would put it. So everybody runs their wiring a little bit differently when they do their HID install. So really, you'll find a spot for this, just plug it in, mount it, you're all set. From there, we've got this OEM input labeled. That is where we have the capacitor. So this is a capacitor right here. The capacitor will need a ground, so you'll need to find a ground, close to the driver's side headlight, or make a ground. To make a ground, you want to, sand it down to bare metal, use a self-tapping screw, and just put that in as a ground. You have the same resistors on this side. Again, those need to be mounted to metal. And you have this splitter right here. So this open connection is what goes to the headlight itself. So this comes right out of the headlight into this connection, the splitter, resistors on one side, capacitor on the other, and it goes into the full harness. From there, let's say we're going to use the Morimoto ballast. You'll see that you have a ballast connection here, and the ballast connection you're going to notice has a black wire, and in this case a blue wire. We're going to plug that directly in here, black to where it says negative. Then this other connection here is where the igniter goes. So you'll take your igniter, you'll plug that in, and from the igniter you've got your two connections that go right to the bulb. Now this is the same on either side. The harness itself will loop over to the other side of the truck. You've got a long one for ballast on one side, you've got a shorter one here, so it makes simple connection there. No cutting, no splicing, just plug it on in. Next up, we're going to show the same connections for the Hilux ballast. So we're going to get rid of this one here, and we're going to take this Hilux ballast here, and we're going to pull that out of the box. So the Hilux ballast has the same connection here for the input to the ballast, and you'll see negative as well. Go to your black wire. The Hilux ballast will also have a ground. So I'd recommend if you get the Hilux ballast, put the ground together with the capacitor. All set. On the other side of the Hilux ballast, you are going to have your igniter. Two wires coming out of that, which plug right in here to your bulbs. And at that point, all set. So again, you know, pulling this big harness out of the bag may look a little bit daunting at first, but just really need to kind of sit back and realize that there's not a whole lot of weird connections here. It just takes time to set it all up on the truck. You've got your battery positive and negative. You know, you've got a fuse here in the middle, you know, nothing crazy, but just routing the wires where you want it, grounding your capacitor, possibly your Hilux ballast if you went with that, you know, mounting your resistors to metal, and you're all set. So pretty simple on that one. We will also have a link to the diagram for this. You know, some people are more of a visual learner, you know, or they want to have a diagram. No problem. We'll have a link for that as well. So if you have any questions about this product or any other product that we have here at RetroShop, feel free to reach out to us at 314-669-4437. We're in the shop Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 Central Standard Time, or just feel free to email us, jeremy@retroshop.us. Thank you very much.